Anger does not come from other people. It comes from the way we judge what they do. The moment you understand this, your life becomes lighter. If you want peace, you must train your mind, not try to control the world. These 5 habits are simple, but they are powerful. Master them, and no one will have the power to disturb your inner calm. Most anger is not caused by what happens, but by how fast we respond to it. The moment something unpleasant appears, the mind rushes to judge, to defend, to attack. Words escape the mouth before wisdom arrives. Actions are taken before thought is complete. Later comes regret, but by then the damage is already done. This is why the habit of pausing is powerful. A pause is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is the space where reason steps in and emotion steps back. When you pause, you interrupt the chain that turns a small moment into a big problem. A harsh comment, a rude look, a disrespectful message, none of these have power on their own. They only gain power when you react without thinking. The pause breaks that power. It allows you to see clearly instead of emotionally. It reminds you that you are not required to answer everything, explain yourself to everyone, or prove your worth in every situation. The mind is like water. When disturbed, it becomes cloudy. When left still, it becomes clear. Pausing allows the water to settle. In that stillness, you can see what truly matters and what does not. Many things that feel urgent are not important. Many things that seem personal are not meant to be taken that way. The pause reveals this truth. Pausing also protects your dignity. Anger often pushes people to say things they do not mean and do things they later wish they had not done. A calm silence, even for a moment, keeps your character intact. You do not lose respect by being quiet. You lose respect by losing control. The person who can hold their tongue holds their power. This habit is especially important when emotions are high. Anger feeds on speed. The faster you move, the stronger it becomes. Slow down, and it weakens. Even a single deep breath can change the direction of your response. That breath is a reminder that you are in control, not the situation. It is a signal to your mind that you choose clarity over chaos. Pausing does not mean ignoring problems or accepting disrespect. It means choosing the right response instead of the fastest one. It means acting with intention rather than impulse. When you pause, you gain time, and time gives you choice. Choice is freedom. Many people believe they must react immediately, or they will appear weak. In truth, reacting immediately often shows lack of discipline. Strength is shown by restraint. The calm person is not easily moved. They are not dragged into unnecessary conflict. They observe, assess, and then decide. This is how peace is preserved. Pausing also helps you see your own role in the situation. Sometimes anger comes from wounded pride, unmet expectations, or assumptions that were never questioned. The pause allows you to examine these thoughts instead of obeying them. You begin to notice that not every thought deserves your belief, and not every emotion deserves your action. With practice, pausing becomes natural. At first, it feels uncomfortable. The urge to respond quickly is strong. But over time, the pause becomes a habit, and the habit becomes part of who you are. Situations that once disturbed you lose their grip. People notice your calm. More importantly, you notice your own growth. Every pause is a quiet victory. It is a moment where you choose self-control over chaos, wisdom over impulse, peace over noise. The world will continue to test you. People will continue to act according to their nature. Events will unfold beyond your control. But in the pause, you remain free. Many people lose their peace because they try to control what was never theirs to control. They want others to behave better, speak differently, think more clearly, and act more fairly. When these expectations are not met, frustration appears. Anger follows soon after. This habit teaches a simple truth: your power lies only in your response. Everything else belongs to the outside world. The moment you understand this, life becomes easier. Other people's words, actions, opinions, and moods are outside your command. No amount of anger can change them. No amount of stress can reshape their character. When you try to control others, you give them power over your emotions. When you focus on controlling yourself, you take that power back. Your response is where your freedom begins. You can choose how you think about what happens. You can choose how you act after something goes wrong. You can choose whether to stay calm or allow emotions to take over. This choice is always available, even in difficult moments. Losing sight of it is what causes suffering. Many conflicts grow because people react automatically. A harsh word is met with another harsh word. An insult is returned with a stronger insult. The situation escalates, not because it had to, but because no one chose restraint. When you control your response, you stop this cycle. You refuse to add fuel to the fire. Calm becomes your answer, not noise. This habit also protects your energy. Trying to control others is exhausting. It keeps the mind restless and the heart heavy. You replay conversations, imagine different outcomes, and wish people were different. All of this drains you. When you accept that others are beyond your control, the mind relaxes. Energy returns to where it belongs, to your own actions and growth. Controlling your response does not mean being passive. It means being intentional. It means choosing actions that align with your values instead of your emotions. You can still set boundaries. You can still walk away. You can still speak firmly when needed. The difference is that you act from clarity, not from anger. When something unpleasant happens, ask yourself what is truly within your reach. You may not be able to change the event, but you can change your attitude toward it. You may not be able to stop someone from being unfair, but you can stop their behavior from disturbing your peace. This shift in focus is powerful. It turns frustration into control. People often blame others for how they feel. They say someone made them angry or ruined their day. In reality, emotions arise from personal judgments. When you change the judgment, the emotion changes too. By mastering your response, you stop handing your emotions to others. This habit builds inner strength. When you know that your peace depends on you, not on external events, you become stable. Praise does not inflate you. Criticism does not destroy you. You move through life with balance. You remain grounded even when situations are difficult. Over time, this way of thinking reshapes your life. You argue less. You regret less. You waste less energy on things you cannot change. Instead of fighting the world, you work on yourself. This is where real growth happens. Control your response. And nothing outside you can shake your inner calm peace. Begins when you stop demanding that people be different from who they are. Much of anger comes from false expectations. You expect understanding from someone who has never learned it. You expect kindness from someone ruled by insecurity. You expect fairness from someone who benefits from chaos. When reality fails to meet these expectations, frustration rises. Accepting people as they are removes this inner conflict. People act according to their nature, their experiences, and their level of awareness. Some are calm, some are impatient. Some are honest, some are careless with truth. Some are thoughtful, others act without reflection. This is not something you can change in the moment. Fighting against it only drains your peace. Acceptance is not approval. It is clarity. When you accept people as they are, you stop being surprised by their behavior. Surprise is often what triggers anger. You say to yourself, I did not expect this from them. But why not? They have shown you who they are before. Acceptance allows you to see clearly and respond wisely instead of emotionally. This habit teaches you to observe rather than react. You begin to watch people without attaching your peace to their actions. When someone behaves poorly, you no longer take it as a personal attack. You see it as an expression of their current state. This creates emotional distance. In that distance, anger has little room to grow. Expecting people to change for your comfort is a hidden form of control. It places your peace in their hands. Acceptance brings it back to you. When you know what to expect, you prepare your response instead of suffering disappointment. You stop hoping others will suddenly become better versions of themselves. This habit also improves your judgment. When you accept people as they are, you make better decisions about how close they should be to your life. You do not ask a dishonest person to guard your trust. You do not ask an impatient person to handle delicate matters. You adjust your expectations, not your self-respect. Acceptance reduces emotional exhaustion. Arguing with reality is tiring. Wishing people were different keeps the mind in constant resistance. Acceptance brings rest. It allows you to conserve energy for things that truly matter, like your character, your goals, and your peace. Many people confuse acceptance with weakness. In truth, it requires strength. It takes courage to see reality clearly without resentment. It takes discipline to stop blaming others for your emotional reactions. Acceptance is a quiet form of power. It frees you from unnecessary battles. When you accept people as they are, you also become more patient. You stop taking things personally. You understand that everyone is shaped by struggles you may never see. This understanding softens the mind. It turns anger into awareness. This habit does not mean allowing disrespect or harm. Acceptance does not remove boundaries. It strengthens them. When you see people clearly, you know where to stand, when to speak, and when to walk away. You act with intention, not illusion. Life becomes simpler when you stop expecting the world to adapt to your preferences. People will continue to be imperfect. Some will disappoint you. Some will test your patience. Acceptance prepares you for this reality. It removes the shock and reduces the pain. When expectations fall away, calm takes their place. You move through situations with steady awareness. You stop trying to correct everyone. You stop feeling offended by every flaw. You understand that peace does not come from changing people, but from understanding them. Most inner turmoil comes from holding on to things that were never within your reach. The mind struggles when it tries to manage outcomes, people and events beyond its control. This struggle creates tension, frustration, and anger. Letting go of what you cannot control is not giving up. It is choosing clarity over chaos. Every day, countless things happen without your permission. Weather changes, plans fail, people act unexpectedly, words are spoken carelessly. You can resist these realities, or you can accept them. Resistance drains energy. Acceptance preserves it. When you stop fighting what you cannot control, your mind becomes lighter. This habit begins with understanding the limits of your influence. You can guide your thoughts. You can choose your actions. You can shape your values. Everything else exists outside your authority. Trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to disappointment. Letting go restores balance. When something goes wrong, the mind often asks why this happened and who is to blame. These questions keep you stuck. A calmer question brings freedom. What is within my control right now? This shifts attention from frustration to action. It turns helplessness into strength. Holding on to the need to control outcomes creates fear. You worry about what might happen, how others will react, whether things will go your way. This constant anticipation steals peace from the present moment. Letting go allows you to live fully now, instead of being trapped in imagined futures. This habit also weakens anger. Anger often appears when expectations clash with reality. You expect people to behave a certain way. You expect life to be fair. When it is not, anger rises. Letting go of these expectations dissolves the source of anger. You stop demanding guarantees from life. Letting go does not mean indifference. It means choosing effort without attachment. You do your best, then release the outcome. You act with care, but you do not cling to results. This creates calm confidence. You know you have done what was yours to do. Many people carry the weight of things they cannot change. They replay the past, wishing it were different. They worry about the future, fearing loss or failure. Both steal peace. The past is finished. The future is uncertain. Control exists only in the present moment. This habit brings emotional freedom. When you let go, insults lose their sting. Delays lose their power. Other people's moods stop controlling yours. You become steady, not because life is easy, but because your focus is disciplined. Letting go also sharpens judgment. When emotions are no longer tied to outcomes, you see situations more clearly. You respond instead of reacting. You choose wisely instead of emotionally. Calm thinking replaces restless thinking. Over time, this habit builds resilience. You stop breaking under pressure. You stop feeling defeated by circumstances. You understand that peace is not found in perfect control, but in right perspective. Life will always contain uncertainty. People will always act in ways you cannot predict. Events will unfold beyond your plans. Letting go allows you to move with life instead of against it. When you release what you cannot control, you protect what truly belongs to you. Your inner peace is not something you find in the outside world. It is something you protect from within. Many people believe peace will come when situations improve, when people change, or when life becomes easier. This belief keeps peace always out of reach. Protecting your inner peace means deciding that no external event is worth the loss of your calm. Every day, your peace is tested. Noise, opinions, criticism, delays, and disappointments appear without warning. If you allow each of these to disturb you, your mind becomes restless. Protecting your peace begins with awareness. You notice what drains you and what strengthens you. You stop giving your attention to things that steal your calm without offering value. This habit requires clear boundaries. Not every conversation deserves your energy. Not every argument needs your response. Not every opinion needs your approval. When you protect your peace, you choose where to place your focus. You understand that attention is limited and valuable. Wasting it on negativity weakens the mind. Many people feel pressured to react, explain, or defend themselves. This pressure creates anxiety. You do not owe everyone a reaction. Silence is often a form of wisdom. Walking away is often an act of strength. Protecting your peace sometimes means choosing distance over engagement. This habit also changes how you consume information. Constant exposure to negativity, conflict, and comparison unsettles the mind. Protecting your peace means being selective. You limit what you allow into your thoughts. You choose content that educates, calms, or strengthens you. What you feed your mind shapes your emotional state. Protecting inner peace does not mean avoiding responsibility or challenge. It means facing life with steadiness. When problems arise, you approach them with a clear mind rather than panic. Calm thinking leads to better solutions. A peaceful mind handles difficulty with grace. This habit strengthens self-respect. When you protect your peace, you send a message to yourself that your well-being matters. You stop sacrificing your mental state to please others. You stop allowing chaos to enter your inner world. This creates confidence and balance. Many conflicts continue because people refuse to let go. They replay conversations, imagine arguments, and relive moments of disrespect. Protecting your peace means knowing when to release these thoughts. Holding on to them only keeps wounds open. Letting go allows healing. This habit also reduces anger. Anger often comes from feeling invaded or disrespected. When your peace is strong, insults lose their power. You stop feeling threatened by words or actions. You remain centered even in difficult interactions. Protecting your peace is a daily practice. It requires consistency. Some days are easier than others. What matters is the intention to remain calm and grounded. Over time, this habit becomes natural. Disturbances no longer shake you as they once did. A peaceful mind sees life clearly. It responds wisely. It moves without haste. Protecting your inner peace is not selfish. It is necessary. When your inner world is calm, the outer world loses its ability to control you. Words have power only when you invite them inside. Many people carry anger because they take every comment personally, as if each word spoken by others is a judgment of their worth. This habit teaches a different way of seeing. Words reflect the speaker's state of mind, not your value. When you understand this, insults lose their weight. People speak from their experiences, emotions, and limitations. A harsh comment often reveals frustration. A cruel remark often hides insecurity. A careless word often comes from ignorance. When you take these words personally, you turn someone else's inner struggle into your burden. Letting go of this habit frees you from unnecessary pain. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Some words are spoken to provoke, control, or release tension. They are not meant to inform or improve. Taking them seriously gives them more importance than they deserve. When you stop taking words personally, you choose peace over pride. This habit requires separating facts from judgments. Facts are what happened. Judgments are the opinions attached to them. Someone may criticize you, but that criticism is their perspective, not a universal truth. When you confuse opinion with reality, anger grows. When you see the difference, calm remains. Taking words personally often comes from a fragile sense of self. When your self-worth depends on external approval, every comment feels like a threat. Strengthening your inner confidence changes this. When you know who you are, words cannot shake you. They pass through without leaving a mark. This habit also helps you listen better. When you are not defensive, you can hear what is being said without reacting emotionally. Sometimes there is useful feedback hidden beneath poor delivery. Sometimes there is nothing of value at all. A calm mind can tell the difference. Silence becomes easier when words no longer control you. You stop feeling the need to respond to every remark. You stop defending yourself against imagined attacks. This saves energy and preserves dignity. The strongest response is often no response. Not taking words personally does not mean accepting disrespect. It means choosing how much power you give to what is said. You can address issues calmly. You can set boundaries firmly. You can walk away when needed. The difference is that you act without emotional disturbance. This habit reduces conflict. Many arguments escalate because people react to tone rather than meaning. When you remain calm, the situation often dissolves on its own. Anger feeds on reaction. Calm starves it. Over time, this way of thinking creates emotional resilience. You stop being affected by gossip, criticism, or pralines. You remain balanced. You no longer rise too high or fall too low because of words. Words come and go. They disappear as quickly as they are spoken. Carrying them in your mind gives them a life they do not deserve. When you release this habit, your mind becomes lighter. You move through conversations with ease. You remain grounded regardless of what is said around you. Anger often feels justified, but it rarely improves a situation. It narrows the mind and pushes understanding away. Choosing understanding instead of anger is a deliberate practice. It means pausing the urge to judge and making space to see more clearly. This choice protects your peace and sharpens your awareness. Every action has a cause, even when the action seems unreasonable. People act from fear, habit, pressure, or confusion. When you respond with anger, you focus only on the surface behavior. When you respond with understanding, you look beneath it. This shift changes how you experience conflict. Understanding does not mean agreeing or excusing harmful behavior. It means recognizing that behavior has roots. When you see those roots, anger loses its grip. You stop seeing situations as personal attacks and begin seeing them as expressions of human struggle. Anger feels powerful, but it often comes from wounded pride or unmet expectations. Understanding brings humility. It reminds you that everyone carries unseen burdens. This awareness softens your reactions. It turns sharp responses into calm ones. This habit trains the mind to ask better questions. Instead of asking why this is happening to me, you ask what might be happening within them. This does not shift blame onto yourself. It shifts your focus away from ego and toward clarity. Clarity brings calm. Choosing understanding also protects relationships. Many conflicts end not because one side wins, but because one side chooses calm. When you refuse to escalate, tension dissolves. Your steadiness often invites reason into the situation. This habit reduces emotional exhaustion. Anger demands energy. It keeps the mind restless. Understanding requires less force. It allows the mind to settle. You stop replaying events and conversations. You move forward instead of staying stuck. Understanding also strengthens self-control. When you see situations clearly, you are less likely to react impulsively. You choose words carefully. You act with purpose. This builds confidence and respect, both for yourself and from others. This habit does not mean suppressing emotions. It means guiding them. You acknowledge anger without letting it lead. You observe it, understand it, and then let it pass. This creates emotional balance. Over time, choosing understanding becomes natural. You stop feeling offended by every slight. You stop assuming bad intentions. You give yourself the gift of calm awareness. Life becomes less heavy. When you replace anger with understanding, you protect your inner world. You remain steady even when others are not. You respond with wisdom instead of impulse. This habit turns conflict into clarity and disturbance into calm. Calmness is often mistaken for weakness, but it is one of the strongest qualities a person can develop. Staying calm does not mean you lack feelings or opinions. It means you have learned to govern them. When emotions no longer control your actions, you move through life with quiet strength. Power is usually associated with force, noise, and dominance. True power is restraint. The person who remains calm in pressure holds control over the situation. While others react, you observe. While others rush, you remain steady. This steadiness allows you to think clearly and act wisely. When you stay calm, you see more. Anger narrows attention. Calm expands it. In a calm state, you notice details others miss. You hear what is actually being said. You sense when to speak and when to remain silent. This awareness gives you an advantage in every situation. Calmness also protects your reputation. Emotional reactions often lead to words and actions that damage trust and respect. A calm response builds credibility. People begin to see you as reliable and grounded. Your presence itself becomes reassuring. This habit strengthens decision-making. Strong emotions cloud judgment. Calmness clears it. When faced with difficulty, a calm mind weighs options carefully. It chooses long-term benefit over short-term relief. This leads to better outcomes and fewer regrets. Staying calm also weakens conflict. Anger feeds on opposition. When met with calm, it often loses momentum. You do not mirror chaos, you neutralize it. This does not mean allowing disrespect. It means addressing issues without emotional noise. This habit builds resilience. Life will test you. Pressure will come. Unexpected events will appear. Calmness allows you to adapt instead of break. You bend without losing your shape. You recover faster from setbacks. Calmness also brings self-mastery. When you can remain steady under stress, you trust yourself more. You know you can handle difficulty without losing control. This confidence spreads into all areas of life. Staying calm requires practice. It begins with awareness of your breath, your thoughts, and your reactions. When you notice tension rising, you slow down. You choose patience. Over time, this becomes natural. A calm person is not easily manipulated. They are not driven by provocation or pressure. They move according to reason. This independence is true power. When you stay calm, you stay present. You do not waste energy on panic or anger. You act with clarity. You remain grounded no matter what unfolds around you. Calmness is not the absence of strength. It is strength in its most controlled form.